Hello. Professional.
Hello, everyone. I am
Highly
here.
professional.
Blue's the professional this week, and I'm not.
Hell nah.
It's not how that goes.
No, not a thing. Nemo is here. There we go.
Nemo is here. Nemo, you win the prize of being here before I have done a tweet.
Hey.
I don't know what that prize is. It's just my goodwill.
My good graces.
You're in my good books.
It means when we have our massive mega fight on Wednesday, you have the chance of receiving some kind of buff.
You have priority. You have tank priority.
Tank priority.
So I am actually here, chat, even though you cannot see me. It's just I'm demolishing a bowl of noodles real quick. And you don't have to see that.
I don't think so.
I mean, I guess technically Nemo's prize is the thing that I messaged him about.
Oh,
Or you're just going to say that and then not be able to give me any context?
I was setting you up to ask me what it was. It's called having a conversation.
I figured it was forbidden knowledge. Tell me.
We're having a dialogue. Which is that I messaged Nemo and went, hey, to my knowledge, you're the only person who's controlling one character on Wednesday, and I'm the only person who's controlling 4 characters on Wednesday, so how about we sort of even that out a little bit? Would you like one of my birds?
Yeah! Take a bird.
It's such
Here,
a
have a bird from my catalogue.
It's such a me thing. Can I offer you one of my
for sure.
birds?
Did I offer you a bird in this trying time? Oh, is Nemo in front with me off tanking?
I think he might be, because the choice is between Kayak and Tian. Also, stream, I'm halfway through doing my warm-up circles because I was waiting for Kels to get back.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I forgot to eat. Well, I didn't forget, I just couldn't. My roommates sharing a kitchen's hard work.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's between Kayak and Tian, because obviously I want to control Kika and Kirok, because they were my actual characters.
Yeah.
And Kayak and Tian dance across that line of player character and NPC, in that they're my characters, and I made them, and I've leveled them up, and 9 times out of 10 I will roleplay them. But then, but when we get situations like this, when there's too much going on, they are allowed to be handed to other people.
Yeah. Welcome to the front line.
Might be Tian? I don't know, because I think maybe if I'm going to be in a spellcaster brain with both Kirok and Kika, it might be worth me just going full caster and having Kayak as well, because he's a bard. Whereas if it's like, oh, I gotta switch from caster mode to fighter mode with Tian, that might get me confused.
I didn't forget, Das. I'm in the middle of doing it. I've just done it.
Girls is running late because she's shoveling food into her mouth. It is my turn to be the mom friend and make sure that she is looking after herself. Excuse me. Hello, Des.
In my defense, I didn't intend to eat before I left. And I did eat something, just not, like, enough. And I had any of the energy that I gained from that food, I then immediately expended in one of the most difficult lectures I've ever sat.
Oof.
Now we're here.
As soon as she got in, I was like, get yourself a snack. Nemo said, do we want me to be a dragon? Probably not.
Like in life, or...
I mean, who wouldn't want to be a dragon in life? I know I do.
What's the point?
Yes, because you arrived a few seconds late, Des, we literally just talked about this about 2 minutes ago. I messaged Nemo and said, hey, you're the only person who has one character, would you like one of my 4 to play? we just talked about this. I need to level them up still. because I have the ADHD brain that forgets about things.
Oh, Mexico sorted itself. Got that.
That's your day tomorrow, sorted.
Yeah. It's gonna be either Kayak or Tian because it's kind of
Not normal
obviously I want to
Mexican.
play Kirok and Pika. I'm leaning towards giving him Tian so that I'm in like full caster mode with 3 casters rather than having 2 casters and 1 melee. It's bloody guides every week. With smaller spell slots. He has more than Kika because she is a warlock. But again, as I said when I made the pair of them, Kirok is a caster,
Thanks for helping me.
Tian is a melee. Both their children are in the middle of that, in that both have melee and spells.
Are you ready for this?
You ready?
I'm here. Let's go.
There she is. Bam!
It's me. No camera. Good. What's up?
You're looking delightful today, darling.
I did try.
Slay!
This is a good look.
It is.
This is you will see this outfit again tomorrow because it's too good to not wear tomorrow because it's themed.
Fair.
It was also themed for the lecture I had today, but
Oh, there goes Italy.
right. What am I doing?
What are you doing? Are you murdering someone this week?
I am in theory not.
All right, we're
I
gonna preface that with the in theory.
I might be lightly half murdering some people. Yeah, we need to talk, chat.
light murdering. Warning,
I just
light
went
murder.
into my lecture notes instead of my writing. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Because my prompt for this week is kind of a world building prompt. It's a lot less. Oh, just as a thing, by the way, I've been posting every single week of this to Twitter. I just kind of was like, fuck it, I'm enjoying this too much, and I can't stand that no one else has read this apart from me. So there's a thread on Twitter. I think it's the last thing I retweeted. There's a thread on my Twitter where I just put the Google Doc every week when it's done.
Mm-hmm.
They won't always be done on the night because I normally work on them until about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Her Twitter is underneath her camera because she has a nice frame now. We both do, so she has a Twitter underneath.
You
her
can come
that
find me.
Can follow and you can find.
But
me
you're
and
welcome
find
to
my-
go and read them. They all have the appropriate warnings and things on them if you have content that you want to avoid. The first 2 both contain murder. I couldn't control that. But they are murder that is handled very differently. One's not to your taste, the other one might be.
Look, we're no stranger to a little bit of murder on this stream.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, we got fancy
I know
frames.
the rules.
Okay, yeah, people might die this week, but characters won't die this week. The distinction. So,
Fuck
no,
you, Italy.
probably the one character we have left. Thank you, Das, for the link.
Okay.
The one mortal character we have left is safe this week. Giselle, your little sister, she is safe.
I was
this week.
focused on the front line.
I almost want us to roll for next week at the start.
Really?
Before I write
Why?
this. Because everything I've written so far has had a sort of chronology.
Mhm.
This is sort of a between. It's not an event. It's a. I'll read it. You develop a system for feeding. What is it? What happens to those who die? Create a skill that reflects this, which I haven't done yet. So I need to kind of come up with the hey, I'm gonna tell this. But the thing is, if I get a prompt next week that's like someone dies or like if there's an event
Yeah.
next week, I can
Well,
kind
that
of
one is
build
the
the
nearby, but
background
don't
for
know.
that happening. If that makes sense.
Mm.
Like I can make this a kind of segue event,
Okay.
rather than just a thing. So let me open the PDF, which will take like 20 minutes, because my sweet, sweet laptop is having a bad time recently.
Oh no, hun,
She's angry.
honey, please. Well, as in typical me fashion, I have got a dice set prepped because
Oh, my dice are always within reach.
obviously everybody here is D&D nerd who always has a set of 7 dice to hand at any given moment.
Yeah. I've got a box.
No, my stability was 100%, so they need to literally take everything.
Have the Vlakith fight prepared? I should hope so. It's tomorrow. I say as someone who does not have Thursday prepped. Or fully prepped, I should say.
Yeah. Nemo, I will make it fully aware if I'm giving you one of my characters, if you get them killed, I will hate you for life. This is a
That's a
warning.
Legal reasons, that's the joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Again?
What problem will we on? Problem 9. Thank God I've been keeping track of this. I don't know which dice you want to roll.
I can't remember which one I did last week. Did I do the 6 or the 10?
Pick one.
I'll pick the 10. I feel like I did 6 last week. I'll do 10.
Okay, give me just a
Oh my
second.
God.
Number 9. Okay. Which one are you doing? Sorry, I know you
I'm
just
doing
said it.
I'm doing the 10.
In the 10, I will pick a 6. Let's go for. Ooh, not you in a little while. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
2.
6.
Ooh.
Are we going back 4? Yeah, right.
I don't know what maths you
That's
have to
fine.
do with those 2 numbers.
Subtract the d6 from the d10. So that would leave us to -4, right? Dumb.
Yeah. 2 DMs, we can't do a simple maths equation.
No math. So
No
we
maths.
go from 9 down to 4.
Maths in my Dungeons and Dragons? Hell no.
Yeah, this is kind of exactly what I wanted to happen, actually.
Oh?
You might actually kill someone today.
Oops! Murder.
Maybe I won't, actually. This is the prompt. This is what I meant. Ready?
Uh-huh.
You are exposed and flee to a neighboring region. Lose any stationary resources. So this would be the mana. Check a skill. A mortal flees with you. What new name do you adopt among these strangers? I didn't read that last part. That's important. So Giselle's not dying. She's coming with us.
Oh.
So that implies things that happened this week. Because I was thinking, like, oh, who can possibly feed off of? Well, we have staff. So, like, that's... If it's like, develop a system for feeding, and then the next thing that happens is you have to flee. There's a assumed set of things there, right?
Right.
So, this week we're doing all the foreshadowing for that. That's what I'll write next week. Hello, hello.
Delicious foreshadowing. Oops! Murdered someone again.
Oops, oops.
Oops, all murderers.
Oh yeah.
That's just any D&D game. Oops, all murderers.
We're once again coming back to Professor Eggfort's monologue in the beginning of Fantasy High.
Oh. Oh.
An adventurer is someone who goes to a place and inflicts violence upon them.
Yep. I can't remember which skit it's from, but my dad always quotes a skit from a comedian, which is always says, "Go to interesting places, meet interesting people, and then kill them."
Yeah. How it goes. So, if I'm gonna... Okay, yeah.
Oops, we murdered a whole city of slaves. Whoops!
Oopsie.
No. I need to get the clip of Avera going, "Oops, all birds," and just
Oops, all birds.
and just have that like
Oh,
on a button. Yeah.
Oops, all birds.
Oops, all birds. 'Cause that's
We
just
need
me.
like a soundboard.
Yeah.
people what we're talking about. We're talking about bird facts from Misfits of Magic, but the clip of it is on YouTube.
Yep.
Chicken miss? No.
I like to join in on Brennan's bird facts.
Yeah. have you heard? I'm not gonna say that. Have you heard the good news about Brennan, by the way?
That he's going to be guesting in the CR thing?
Yeah, boy. Next week, he's on the Elden Ring one shot that they're doing.
Oh.
Which is fascinating to me. Yeah, it's one hell of a table. It's one of the just the craziest like powerhouse RPG tables I've ever seen. Sam Riegel, Marisha Ray, Brennan Lee Mulligan. I can't remember her name. A woman on there who was on Pirates of Leviathan and a bunch of other D&D shows. She's incredible.
Mhm.
Alex Ward, who runs LA by Night, who DM'd LA by Night for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's such a good. And then Matt's DMing.
Oh, of course. Well, yeah.
Someone on Twitter was like, "Who drew the short straw to have to DM for Sam and Brennan at the same time?" And Matt was like,
no!
Me, I did.
Come on, Matt.
The chaos. So excited to see how Brennan reads on CR, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Christina.
Christina.
Such a goober. Christina, that's her name. Yeah, she's incredible. It's gonna be a fun time, I think. Even though it's Elden Ring, I think it's gonna be
As soon as I can push up to
fun.
the Allies in Turkey.
because I can't imagine that table being serious.
No. That's gonna have such a serious narrative plan, and it's gonna go straight out the window.
Yeah. The thing is, Brennan plays goof. When he's a player, he plays complete goof characters, but very seriously.
Oh,
Yeah.
It won't be devoid of seriousness. It will just be a layer of goofball.
It's the thing, Brennan's one of those people who's at the point where they know the game so thoroughly in and out that they can goof seriously. There's a difference between goofing because you don't know what you're doing and goofing because you 100% know what you're doing.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, that is the dynamic.
Yeah, that was part of the
Random Pokemon time!
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yo, is it time for Pokemon update? Weekly Pokemon update?
Random Pokemon! Mothim? We've had him before!
We finally repeated a boy.
We
The
got our
moth!
first
I'm
repeat!
like cursed.
We got our first repeat!
Wild.
It's been a year and 3 months.
It's incredibly unlikely that we would get a repeat with how many Pokemon there are.
Yeah.
The fact that there are now more Pokemon than when we started.
Yeah. We've been streaming once a week for a year and a half, so that's gonna be that's 50 something, because there's 52 weeks in a year in there.
Yeah.
So 50, 60 something. So we've only done 50, 60 Pokemon. There's about 800 of them. And we got a repeat.
The fact that we've repeated it all is wild.
That is wild.
Reroll.
Yeah, I'm gonna reroll. I'm also though looking to see if I can find the original Muffin so chat can see it. Pokemon. Muffin. There he is. Muffin with the lump. She don't like Muffin. There you go. That was
I hate
Muffin.
moths. I hate moths in general and Mothim in specific.
Yeah. Lump. Okay, Mothim is gone. Be gone, bug. Regenerate. What do we get? Mankey. Fine. We'll take it.
Okay. It's a spiky orb.
Basic boy.
We love a spiky
Now we
orb in
push
this house.
for our home country.
Pinky monkey. That's the boy.
Monkey. Monkey.
The Pokemon update for people who don't know.
Few little pockets
My-
of Turkish resistance.
I'm the one person still playing Pearl while everyone else has moved on.
Stand still,
Um,
Italy, Germany, and Hungary.
I have beaten Cynthia at last.
Yes.
Beaten Cynthia, and I am on the legendary hunt. So far, I have caught.
You mean Poland? in
Rutina.
flight? No, I mean Poland.
I've done all the late Pokemon. I keep going to count Spiritomb because it took me so long to catch Spiritomb. I did catch Spiritomb. Because all of the legendary Pokemon are hidden behind the national decks. Which was mostly fine because I had 3 or 4 that I hadn't got. And weirdly, the one that was the problem was the fucking fish boy. Blue glowy fish boy.
It's always that fish. It's always that fish. It's Finion and Luminon, and it's always that
Luminon.
fish.
Finion
I've
is
encountered
fine.
this so many times with so many different people of like, I'm missing a Pokemon in the Diamond and Pearl decks and I don't know what it is, and it's always
You know
that fucking fish.
Why? Because I can tell you why. It's because
It was,
you
Vince,
can't
it was,
catch a Luminon
birthplace of
and
democracy
Lumion
on Park Trek.
until you have the national decks. Physically cannot catch one.
Yeah, you have to
You can't
evolve one.
encounter them. Have to evolve one, which
Yeah.
means going and finding a Finion, which you need the good rod for.
Yeah, it needs a specific rod and it's on a specific route, and it's just one of those really like niche things. Of,
Then you
like,
have to level it.
Yeah. So it's
to grind at 10
always
level.
it's always that one. It's always Luminion.
It's like I'd
No.
already caught Spiritomb by this point. I'd never seen an unknown for some reason. Just needed to go do that.
Again, they're just off in a side room somewhere.
and then
that you
I
could
went
totally
in-
miss.
Oh yeah, well, it's in the ruins, right? You just have to it's like a 5% encounter rate. You just have to run around a bunch. I got really confused. You will laugh at this. This is someone who's never like gone out of their way to complete a dex before, because I was like, what I'm missing is Dialga. How do I do that? Do I have to get someone with diamond to fight me?
I believe technically you
Oh,
don't have to catch them.
No, but like that's what I meant. You just have to see them, right? You have to fight. I'm like, I can't encounter Dialga because I've got Pearl. But you go and once you've got every other Pokemon, you go and talk to someone in what's the town with the ruins in blue?
Canalave City
It's a town.
town.
Like it's like the one with the without Pokemon, but that's like a community hall instead of Pokemon.
Yeah, I know the one.
You know what I mean?
It's not Canalave. Yeah, I know which one it is though.
But there's Cynthia's mother or something is in there.
Yeah, Cynthia's mum, because Cynthia's family all study myths and legends.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I found this weird book, and it adds Dialga to your Pokedex.
Yes.
Or Palkia if you've got Diamond. And then I went and you will laugh. How I caught Giratina, because you know, Giratina, for those you don't know, in Diamond Pearl, you have to go to Turnabout Cave. You have to get to the end of Turnabout Cave in less than 30 rooms.
Yep.
Catch Giratina.
Yep.
And I was reading this guide, and it was like, okay, the number on the pillar is how many you have to go round clockwise each time. And I got like 2 or 3 rooms in, and I went, oh no, I've been counting this wrong. I just need to go back to the start and try again. So I started just going through random doors, trying to get back to the start. And I went through like a million rooms, it felt like. And there was just Giratina. I had just done it by accident. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that sounds like.
And I've never encountered Giratina in a game.
Really?
I
Oh,
think.
you never did Turnback Cave in the original Diamond and Pearl.
Didn't know it existed. Like, holy shit, Giratina's massive.
Oh, yeah.
When you just like walk into Turnabout Cave and there's just Giratina, it's the biggest fucking Pokemon I've ever seen. Also terrifying.
I mean, it's
But yeah,
it's meant to be. It's
meant
like
to be,
it's
yeah.
like Pokemon Satan, you know.
Next to Yveltal. But
Well, Yveltal is Pokemon Grim Reaper.
that's fair. That's fair. And then I went and initiated Cresselia, and in typical Cresselia fashion, I nearly immediately burst a blood vessel. Cresselia in this beautiful. Like, I think Cresselia is a gorgeous Pokemon anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way they've rendered the like cutscene where you go and meet Cresselia and then they teleport away. Like the sun's coming through their like cool pink wings. Like it's absolutely beautiful looking. Then I immediately lost my temper because I forgot she does the same thing as the lake Pokemon and immediately teleports away when you encounter her. And my only Pokemon that knows Mean Look is Miss Magius. We were talking about this on a different stream where
Yes.
I was not co-hosting. Yeah, it's been driving me insane. And also she moves a lot quicker than Mesprit does, which is annoying. I've got like a hack for doing it that I accidentally stumbled into, which is like a northern exit to like what's the first city you go to in that game? Left of the
Jubilife.
map. Jubilife. The northern exit to Jubilife, there's no like scene transition. You just go to the route and then the city, and it changes, and the little thing pops up, and it's like Jubilife, route this, and there's no like loading. So and every time you do that, it will move.
Yes. Oh, the place that I use for that is by Floroma Town, because it has a T junction where you can go Floroma, Root, whatever, and Valley Wind Works. It's 3 zones right next to each other.
Right, yeah.
So that's the area.
You just
that
do
I
it
use.
until it ends up in the one that you're in.
Yeah.
The Floma's good for that as well, because all of those you can catch in 3 of those. Whereas obviously if you go to Jubilife and they go to the one where you were, and then you go back, it teleports down. But yeah, it's a nightmare. True nightmare. Yeah. But Cresselia is the bane of my life anyway, as you all know. But then I just discovered that I hate the legendary hunt in Diamond Pearl. Which sucks, because I love doing it. Basically, do you know how it works?
I don't actually, because I've not beaten the game, because Legends Arceus came out.
Legends Arceus came out. Basically, the way it's Rambos Park. The way that it works is Rambos Park is full of these huts that have like pedestals on them that are clearly like the Pokemon. Like you go into the one with the Regis and you see the 3 symbols for the Regis and you're like, oh right, yeah. And it's got like all the legendaries you can think of, truly all of them. But the way they work is there's like a pedestal that you need to put a slate into. You can trade for these slates, but you need 3 mysterious shards, either small or large, depending on what Pokemon it is, which legendary Pokemon. And you have to go into the ground underground and mine them. Their drop rate is incredibly low. So it's literally like you go into the ground underground, you have to mine for 10,000 years, get a slate to just like automatically just fight that Pokemon. It's not like there's not like a challenge element to it in like a fun way. It's like a grind, basically. The only ones that aren't like that are Giratina, Heatran. Well, these are from Heatran for me. No, I think it's Heatran normally, actually. It's in the volcano.
That's
the end
Heatran.
of.
Yeah.
I think that's the same for both.
Yeah, that's not version exclusive, I don't think.
And then technically the Regigigas isn't, but you need to do the thing for the Regis. The 3
Yes, you
Regis.
need all 3 Regis in order to get Regigigas.
So, kind of still is a grind, which is annoying. And then Cresselia, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slightly frustrating to me. I'll probably end up doing it because it's kind of a nice thing. You can probably see my Switch over there next to my bed, because it's kind of a good thing to wind down to. It's just going into the ground, underground, and mining for a bit. But like, I put it this way: I've been at this. When did I beat the Elite Four? Last week?
Yeah, it was sometime last week we were chilling and you did it.
Mined probably an hour and a half every night since then, and I have not found one mysterious shard of any type.
Oof.
I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or whether the drop rate is just that low, but it's frustrating. This is news to Blue because I only beat Cynthia in Blue's presence.
It's because I'm a
As the Pokemon
master.
blessing.
Yeah.
As the Pokemon blessing, I required her presence in order to be able to
You were here the other day in the stream when I was like, I tweeted about the Alpha Garchomp I had, and Kiske was freaking like, oh, it's not the level 85 one, so I went off and caught the level 85 one with 1 Pokeball like it wasn't even freaking hard, and I was just like, and now
What, like it's hard?
What, like it's hard?
Stuff the Oakheart, wasn't it? I think so.
Yeah, just walk straight up to it, 1 Pokeball, bam, immediately caught. Don't know what people are complaining about.
Wild. Yeah, so that's my Pokemon update. Blue's been just annihilating Legends Arceus, from what I can tell.
I'm not even rushing it that much. As I said, I've only just gone
like,
to the last zone.
No, I mean like you're crushing it, basically.
Thank
You're
you.
doing incredibly well at it.
Thank you. I now have a level 85 Garchomp on my
excelling.
team, so...
Garchomp army confuses and frightens me.
I have 2 Alpha Garchomps now. 1 I caught, 1 I raised.
Yeah, I'm winning it. It's just slow.
I watched a video which was like, oh, it's getting shiny alphas is really hard to do because it's like the alpha odds on top of the shiny odds, so it's cumulative.
Right, yeah.
Cumulatively, it's really hard. But there are 2 alphas in the game that are easier to farm for shinies than the others because of where they spawn. So you can do it slightly quicker. Of like you zone into the area, it generates whether they're shiny or not, and then you have to actually go to them to see if they're shiny. That journey is like really short in comparison to the rest of the game. So I am tempted to do it to see if I can farm up 2 shiny alphas, because that would be cool. It's typical open world game syndrome of like, here's the main story quest of like, cool, red 3
I will worry about this at another time. But I want to, not to change the topic. Like, you know, I was talking to you when Horizon Forbidden West came out.
Is.
So in my head, I was like, for the days that followed that, I've been like, oh no, because I explained to Blue and I think someone else that Horizon, for people who have not played it, is like what I call a bath game. It's like going into a hot bath for a long time. Like you soak in it. You disappear into it for a while. I realized in the days that followed, I did not hear anything about Horizon, and I went, oh no, that means it's good. If I had heard something about Horizon at this point, then it would be because it was bad. Because people who would play it would be like, this is stupid, and then they would bounce off of it. The fact that I have not heard anything from the many people I know who are currently playing that game means it's really good. Which fills me with fear and dread, because
there's too many good games out right now.
I don't have Horizon amount of time. People would have had to come out of to tell everyone what it was like exactly. Like the silence there's been. I've seen exactly one piece of footage from Horizon, and I retweeted it today. It's just like a little scorpion going through the sand. You can just see its tail.
That one, yeah.
And it's fucking astoundingly pretty. Which the old Horizon, for people who didn't play it, is also absolutely gorgeous. But like, holy shit, I'm like, oh no.
Too many good games right now. Too many good games. Yeah. Final Fantasy has opened up its free trial again. Oh, health check.
Yeah. Water on me? I do. Yeah, Final Fantasy, I'm still in. I never leave. I truly never leave. People who are in the know, they did their big 10-year forecasts live letter. I won't talk about it.
Oh, okay. Why bring it up?
No, it's a joke. Love that game so much. I love it so much. I love it so much. Yeah. A lot of things coming for that game. Getting a full graphics overhaul.
Yeah, God.
Sweats in PS4.
Probably won't apply to PS4, let's be real.
Hey, we'll see. They've done good on optimizing so far. Because it was... The meme, again, I can kind of filter this all so that I can actually talk about it. But, like, the meme was they literally on stream showed a character rendered in, like, a super photorealistic style.
Mm.
Like, insane photorealism, right? And they went, this is what we don't want. Don't want to do this. This is what we're trying to avoid doing. It was kind of great.
Fair enough.
Yoshi P was like, this, not it.
Good.
And so, like, some of the pictures they've done, like, they released, like, the new Lalafell model. It's still very much a Lalafell, like, the big eyes. Like, it's still very cartoony. It's just, like, slightly prettier. Like, it's just, like, slightly upgraded.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly, the big thing is the grass.
This game is an MMO, so, you know, they have to... You can't have super high res ray tracing in MMOs really, because there's too much going on all the time.
People gotta run it.
Yeah.
People gotta play it, like do shit. There's a lot of people trying to do shit at the same time.
Yeah, you gotta be able to have 30 people on screen at once.
He was talking about how they learned a lot from... Do you know what Raoban EX is?
I don't, but I don't mind being
This is
told.
a meme. It's a meme. It's not a real thing. Raoban EX is a meme about something that happened in, I think, the very beginning of Stormblood. That expansion came out. You needed to talk to Raoban to advance the story, but no one could click on the character model. And there was like an instance straight after it, so everyone was like in an instance surrounding the NPC, and they had to like create like a queue system for the instance. They were like, we learned so much about how to fucking run an MMO from that.
That reminds me of the time
you
in
can come
WoW
up
when
with
they...
a great idea, but if you don't do it, if you don't
Yeah.
think about how a massive amount of players are going to interact with this one thing, you're just going to fuck it.
Yeah, I remember when WoW did that in I think it was Draenor, where in order to trigger the instance to go through the portal to get into Draenor, you had to speak to Khadgar, and it was literally like 4,000 players all swarming this one NPC, and it was like nobody could click on it because all of the players were just like stacked on top of it.
Yeah.
So
Because this is Final
in
Fantasy,
order to
obviously.
fix it, they made his model like 20 times bigger, basically.
This is the difference. In Final Fantasy, the players fix this themselves because they would make queues.
Oh my god. Yes,
That
that
was
is the difference.
I remember seeing the pictures of it, the screenshots. There's literally like lines to talk to the NPC.
That is the difference between WoW and Final Fantasy.
But yeah, they're also revamping, making everything trust accessible.
Oh yes.
Which means you can play almost, or once they finished it in 6.3, we'll be able to play almost all of Final Fantasy XIV single player. Just the entire game, apart from like trials. Yeah, they're doing it expansion by expansion, so they're starting with A Realm Reborn. And then they're gonna patch by patch go through.
That's great. I'm hoping that will like get people to play it, because like I mean we can't stress it enough on this stream, to be honest, how good Final Fantasy XIV is. It is
We
so
really
good.
can't.
It is so good. So
It's
the fact
like
that they're basically making
Story for it is like life-changing it.
yeah,
Like
the fact that they're making it
it's
so single
totally-
player accessible now, so that it's like, oh cool, you don't like an MMO? Cool, you don't have to do any of the MMO stuff. Just play the game.
Just have fun, my babies. Great, because me and Aaron were talking about it as well. We were like, means that because the story that Realm Reborn to Endwalker is like one story, you can then experience that entire story start to finish like an RPG. Which is pretty sick. And they're also cutting up the end of Realm Reborn and making it more digestible, which does mean the end of many memes. End of many memes. Prey, F for Prey, F for Kate
F.
Westwind,
F in chats, boys.
for the La Habrea fight.
No!
Pathetic.
Pathetic. Such streamlining was not my intention.
Attention.
I wanna miss doing those prey runs.
I really am.
I'm gonna miss them.
When I've been doing my dailies, I have been, even though I haven't been doing it for months since the Moogle event, I have actually been doing main scenario queue again, just because I will miss the insane amount of XP that it drops. Yeah, me and Aaron, I don't know how to say this. Yeah, fuck it. Aaron, once it's all done, well, maybe earlier, I don't know. Well, Naren, I'm looping you into this. You didn't necessarily agree to this, but I'm gonna make an ult and see what New Realm Reborn's like.
Oh.
I want to see what it's like to play it. I was going to. Okay, I didn't want to speak for you, Naren, but I know me and Naren talked about it. I'm gonna make an ult and just see what the game's like when you can basically solo the whole thing.
Oh, damn. How long will that last?
I
As
don't know how
in-
much I'll
as-
use it once I'm
yeah.
done with the story.
Yeah, as in how much will you play through, and how much will you be able to resist not doing multiplayer stuff on that character?
To be honest, I can just switch back to AP if I want to do multiplayer stuff. But we'll see.
Sure.
See. But guys, we can't all make ults. Some of us have to carry.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to bother with an ult. I'll be real, because I ain't even finished. I ain't even finished as it is.
There's literally no reason to. If you want to do story again, you can just New Game Plus it. I literally just want to see, because the way that New Game Plus works, I want to see what that's like. Yeah. But New Game Plus saying Heaven's Ward, and I've been really enjoying it, actually. I want Endwalker to get into New Game Plus. I know it's coming 6.1, but I want it now!
I want it now.
I want it now! It's fun watching. There's like a life cycle to these things after a patch. Watching everyone on my Final Fantasy Twitter feed start New Game Plusing various expansions just for the shit of it. It's fun to watch them go through stuff again and be like, you fucking... You!
The amount of foreshadowing in that game
is disgusting.
It's godlike. It is godlike. This is the thing. Like, when you start playing, this is the problem that it had, which is why the new Realm Reborn will be interesting, because Realm Reborn in particular is so heavy, and you do spend a lot of it going, is this really necessary? And
Yes.
It is! It was all necessary.
When two characters literally give you a slideshow with a bunch of lore in it, that's actually important. They're not wasting your time. Then in a Realm Reborn, you don't know that they're not wasting your time, but they're not wasting your time. Oh, beautiful. That game will go off about it forever, for eternity. I will talk about how much I love that game until everyone has finished it and played it and finished it.
We might be here a while then,
because
because I ain't touched it in several months, but I want to. But
it's okay.
there's
You'll get there
so
when you
much,
get there.
There's so much to do all the time,
You'll get there when you get there.
and I have the
Adopt.
I have the ADHD brain of ooh shiny.
Adopt Yoshi P attitude in this house. Is that you have a life outside of this game. You get to it when you get to it.
Aww. In this house, we love and respect Yoshi P.
We do. We really do. Me and Aaron were talking about, like, they were on the live letter. Basically, they were like, we're having to change our patch schedule. And everyone was like, well, I wonder if they're going to, like, 6 months or a year. Like, I wonder if they're, like, really spreading it out, because the schedule at the moment is, like, 3.5 months. That's, like, they probably want, like, way more time to work on patches. Like, it'll probably be, like, 6 months. And they were like, we're gonna go to every 4 months. We're very sorry about this. It's like, are you insane?
Yeah, this is like when
So apologetic about it. It's like,
yeah, this is like when Endwalker got delayed, and they were like they were like in tears.
So
They were
sad.
like, so sorry it's been delayed for like a week, and everyone was
wasn't
like,
even long.
it's like, my dude, it's fine. There has literally been a global pandemic.
They said as well, they went into a little bit of like the OCP's process. OCP was so determined to get Endwalker right. And some of the people in the chat have like had me go off about this, but OCP was so determined to get Endwalker right. They were talking this is in the spoiler section, but like OCP was so determined to get not just like quests and cutscenes right, but like moments to feel right, that he went through Endwalker and approved it minute by minute.
Oh.
So like he was like talking a lot about like there were like certain pauses in conversation that I wanted to have, and like breaks between lines, and like certain like head gestures that had to be right other for me. Like he went through like cutscenes frame for frame, proved them that way. That's why Endwalker took so long, because that's why he was so sad when they announced the delay of Endwalker, because he had to sign off on everything and he was the one who kind of slowed things down. but that's because he was so determined to get it right that he went through, and you can tell. Endwalker has some of the most gorgeous moments in it. Like, true, I've never cried so much playing a game in my life. Like, it's so obvious the time and love that went into Endwalker, and like, there are so many tiny little moments that really stand out, and like, it's something else to know that that's because Yoshi P literally sat there and went, this needs to be a half second longer.
Jesus, honestly, nobody does that, like, at all.
No.
That's just unheard of in the games industry.
And this is the thing that we were talking, a couple of us were talking about, I think it was me, Nara, and Kay, me, Nara, and someone, I can't remember, might have been you, Das. The crazy thing about Yoshi P, you stand Yoshi P just a little bit. I know you shouldn't stand people, we do a little bit.
We stand Yoshi P.
Because, like, Yoshi P, like, does this, right? Like, does that insane amount of work, and then he goes home and plays Final Fantasy XIV recreationally. Like, he plays this game in his free time.
Doesn't
get tired of it.
Doesn't he craft clothing?
That's the designer.
Oh, that's the designer.
That has their brand.
They have a clothing brand, yeah.
Yoshi P are hardcore raids as far as I know. But they would say, in like, I can't remember Naren if this is like a thing we were memeing about or a thing we knew. There's a thing coming out called Island Sanctuary. There's not a lot of details on what that is, but as far as I can tell, it's just like a place to vibe. It's like, he keeps saying that, like, it's just a very chill place. Me and Naren keep memeing it's just Stardew Valley in Final Fantasy. But that place literally exists because Yoshi P wants to play this game, but he's tired a lot, so he wants a place that's chill. And like, no pressure,
That's
and just
amazing.
a place to vibe. So we all get that now.
That's wild.
Yeah. Very tempted to New Game Plus the way through with Tradaine and see it all from Tradane's perspective. Yeah. Would highly recommend. The first thing they said when Endwalker was finished was, you should go through a New Game Plus the whole thing, because you'll pick everything up now. You've changed characters halfway through the plot, so you really should.
Damn. Doesn't
I really don't care about this
Yoshi P
game.
also sometimes, like, lurk in people's streams?
Does famously watched Jesse Cox cry through the end of 5.3. He watches people stream the game. He also really closely follows every time a new like ultimate like Savage raid comes out. So like when people are trying to get world firsts, will lurk a lot on like world first streams because he actually gets really invested in who wins that.
That's so cool.
He personally announces world firsts because he actually enjoys watching people trying to get it.
We do not deserve him.
No, you're good. It's like tiny things. Like Naren told me that, like, 'cause me and Naren have watched like different bits of the live letter. Like basically in no spoils, but like 6.1's happening. And then there's going to be a patch called 6.11, which is just the new hardcore, like, Savage raid, because they don't want people to have to rush through the story to get to the hardcore content if their static is raiding it.
Oh, right, because
So,
of World First.
So they're like, we'll drop the story and like all the new stuff that we're going to be doing for 6.1, and then we'll wait like a week, and then we'll drop the Unleash, so people who've got like who want to go for World First and stuff don't have to like miss out on the story and everything.
So good.
It's so sweet. Like it's nice to play a game. People that make it clearly also know the community and also play. Like, every time something changes or happens, it's like, oh, this doesn't come from like distant someone looking at the stats of something and being like, does this work or whatever. It's like, no, this is someone who like plays this game and is like, this is annoying. Like Glamour Plate extensions happening. So like it feels like it's not disconnected from the people who play it.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I have comparable MMO experience, but I have had experiences with games that updated a lot.
Yeah, it is refreshing to play a game where it does actually, not even feel, it is the truth of the devs do actually care. Like, I'm sure, I
Like-
know loads of devs do care, but unfortunately, quite often it has to go through the rigmarole of the higher-ups, and it gets filtered out, or diluted, or, marketing says we can't do this, or whatever.
Yeah,
But, man, Final Fantasy just go
it doesn't
off.
feel that way.
It doesn't feel that way.
Anyway, yeah, we clearly don't care about this game. We don't. This game, it doesn't mean anything to us. Okay, I need to get to writing because you've nearly finished Pokemon War.
Yeah, we went off on Final Fantasy and Pokemon. We did all our big hits right at the start. Mind you, this is how it goes. This is how it goes with us. We talk loads at the
we
start.
did Pokemon, Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
and then
and then
D&D, and then we focus.
yeah, we were like silent for the last half hour because we've talked about everything and we're concentrating on what we're doing.
I apologise if you can hear Mariah's listening to something very loud. I
Nope.
apologise if you can hear the ambient, but it's
Nope.
just me.
You're good.
How long? I was just going back to the thing I wrote last week to remind me of tone. I forgot how long it was. I finished this long time after we finished streaming. I was possessed by this thing. Read a bit of it? I feel like I've read some of Bobby's.
A little bit, yes.
Any of this that I can read? Let's find out. See if I can find any of this that I feel like I can read on this stream. I read that on the stream last week. It's kind of good. Like work. It's a little spicy.
Night, love.
Good night.
Any chance that aforementioned silence could start now?
Not likely.
Nah.
You've got the power. Or your head.
Love you. Ah!
No, no.
Love you loads.
Shut all the doors.
Excuse me.
Okay, I think I found a bit that I can read that I'm okay with. Like, I think can be read out of context.
Mm.
Is yeah, it it is them talking about someone a long time ago, basically. The only one. It's not graphic or anything. It's just a conversation, but it's an idea of the tone. Yeah. I almost want to read the bit before this as well, but I might. Oh, fuck it, I will. I guess because this is the intro to Lynette you get, so that would make sense because I read the intro to Bobby last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the intro you get to. Well, you get a little bit more of an intro to Lynette before this, but this is the bit I'm going to read. Lynette was older than I, but not by much. She had lived the kind of life my parents looked down upon, but I had adored hearing about as a girl. She It was the northern sort, built wider and stronger than the delicate stuff I was built from. Her features were fine but mousy. Her hair was dark and very long, though she kept it pinned tightly at the base of her neck. She did not wear bonnets or gowns and dressed like a man in most respects, but I found it suited her in a womanly sort of way. Parents had opposed of her as my protector, but I was constantly insistent on trouble, and having a gentleman accompany me at all times would invite too many suggestions of impropriety. She had told me one night, while she unpinned my hair in the dim firelight, about how she had killed her father. The night was cold, and I was shivering in my nightgown. Her hands were solid and soothing against my scalp. He came at me, so I grabbed the knife off the kitchen table, and he went straight into it, she explained, like telling a bedtime story. I didn't even really mean to do it. Would you, if you had the time to think about it? I had asked her in return. Yes, she said. Lynette had a way of speaking that affirmed reality. Everything was simple and rational when she explained it all out. It made everything easy and comfortable, like a warm drink. She adored me even then. How did it feel to kill him? I asked. She thought about it, running her hands through my ruddy hair just for the pleasure of it. It didn't feel like anything, she said. It simply happened. That is not to say I enjoyed it, but I simply do not think about it any longer. I believed her then. I did not anymore. That's just a little bit. That's part of that.
Dang.
It's sort of a, I don't know, narrative crux of the thing that I write. Yeah. Last week's is kind of crazy. It contains, like, that conversation, like that flashback. It contains an extended situation, a full nightmare sequence, like it, a section of Paradise Lost again.
Again.
It's a lot. No one at me. I've created a system now. I've made it a thing. Now I have to stick to it.
It's called a leitmotif, guys.
It is. Associated with Bobby. So every time it again. Part of the chorus. Introduce Lynette's part of the chorus at the end of last week's, which is very sad. I'm perplexed by the part of this prompt that is what happens to those who die. It's like, what do you mean by that? I'm assuming I'm not making a bunch of vampires, if that's what you're asking.
The Angry Monkey's kind of done.
Angry Monkey looks very done to me.
Yeah.
Looks very angry.
In Angie.
It'll be me tomorrow. The Blight Princess fight. I think most people here know what Blight Princess is and is going on, but like, holy shit, tomorrow's Blight Princess.
Yeah, our D&D game
People should watch
is
that.
crazy right now.
It's insane.
Like, I think everybody here
I've
is
come
aware.
up with about 12 characters.
I think everybody who is here is probably aware, but to summarize, it's like you have to know so much background information of like, we had a campaign that we played all the way through.
It went on for like 5 years ago.
Yeah, we played it all the way through, start to finish. We went from like level 1 to like level 14, and that story finished. A bunch of those characters semi-retired and had kids. Fast forward 20 years into this campaign that we're now currently playing, where a couple of us are playing characters that are kids, brackets, adopted...
Legacy characters.
You know, brackets, adopted children of those heroes, who vanished and apparently got stuck in a time loop, which we have now apparently just broken open. And the person who put them in that time loop is very unhappy about the fact that it has been broken, so they are coming to put manners on us. And thus we have an encounter, which is this person who put them in the time loop, the current party that we are currently playing, but also
the old party.
Also the old party that we previously played like 3 years ago. But 20 years has passed in game, so those characters have leveled up.
Yeah, they're level 18 characters. They are beefy.
Oh, I've seen that movie.
It's truly wild. It's a fun time. I'm
so
excited.
bonkers.
See, it's semi-easy for me because I was preparing to do a combat with playing a fully rested up Pox plus running Legacy. I now don't have to do that. I now have to play a fully tapped and exhausted Pox, which is nothing. And Glory.
Yes, because you've gifted Legacy onto Ollie.
Ollie, yeah.
Because
Well,
Ollie's one
I
of
kind
the
of threw it
people
out into the air,
who
but
doesn't have anybody from
have a
the
former
previous game
character.
to play.
and also it's fun to give a baby spellcaster a level 20 spellcaster and be like, fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
no,
gonna go
I was-
nuts.
I was fully content. I've seen Legacy spell list as well, and it's gonna be a fun time. Yeah, I was so ready. Like, not that Glory's easy. I think Glory's gonna be hard for me to play actively because there's just a lot to remember with Glory. It's not like Box is technically a little difficult, but Glory's just like, yeah, she's got like 8 different types of reactions. She has 2 different types of regen.
Mm.
She adds her con mod to some things, but not others. She has 5 attacks a turn. It's just a lot, and she rerolls 1s on all her damage and crits on an 18. It's just a lot to remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
He's
juggle.
broken, but
I'm juggling 3 spellcasters, so
you got a lot of spellcasters. Different challenge.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the combat might be a bit rough to watch tomorrow, so please forgive us. But keep in mind that we will be juggling so much.
Good thing at least is like there's gonna be no such thing as a bad decision because there's gonna be we're just gonna have such a we're gonna have so many turns like oh, also Roman is totally not gonna use an action to hug his adopted son for using his magic items.
Oh my heart!
I
no.
was saying to Naren, I'm so, like, this is just pure glory, but like, I'm so excited to go tank with Winnick, like in character as Glory. Glory's gonna be so thrilled to be like Winnick.
Not even that. She's gonna be like, Winnick, you've gotten stronger.
You got divine magic now. Oh, you've left my area of expertise and gone into my wife's area of expertise. I see.
need to go talk with
Go
my
and
wife.
talk to my wife. We can no longer relate.
Get my bird family.
gonna- Yeah, she's gonna lose her shit seeing Kika there. She will not be happy.
My bird family.
Let me be very clear. Glory will be happy to see Kika. She will not be happy to see Kika here.
Who brought this baby?
She loves Kika so much, but like, holy shit, why are you here? You should be safe and at home and not here.
I remember the thing that you wrote. It was so sweet. She was
like
tiny baby.
Glory was afraid of holding Kika in case she accidentally hurt her. Like, the idea of Kika being here for Glory is like, oh, I'm gonna short circuit. I'm fully gonna break.
Everybody's brain goes into meltdown. The entire SKT group simultaneously is just gonna go, the baby.
I have to play 2 characters, one of which who doesn't like the other. That's gonna be a fun thing for me to play. Pox does not like Glory. I can see very loudly, this is not my fault. Legacy's gonna hear some things from Glory.
Just in the background, you're not affiliated with me!
Yeah. Glory is not afraid to square up to her mom. Be like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, God. I just started running through in my head. I was like, oh, how would Glory react to seeing this person, this person, this person? See, I don't know until I play. There's a non-zero chance Glory knows who Renara is, or at least knew her parents. Probably.
Dang.
It's a non-zero chance. We'll see.
Even from a combat perspective, it's going to be nuts. From an RP perspective, this is going to be so funny.
Only her parents has no idea who Renara is. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. You wouldn't. Glory as well. She's not dumb anymore. She's really not dumb anymore. Like, she was younger. She was so dumb. She wouldn't put that information together. But like, yeah, we're gonna have 2 Varuses?
Yeah.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, one's partially tapped. I thought about that today. I was like, because I was listening it off in my head when I was
Did
like,
you get recharged?
Well, that's what we were trying to do, and then this happened.
That already happened for me.
I thought that's what we were trying to do. We were trying to recharge him with this, but before we could, this shit all happened. But I was trying to list it off in my head.
2 fully charged Varuses.
I was trying to list it off in my head when I was like, who do I give one of my extra birds to? And I was like, oh, Nemo is the only one with someone extra, because Nerian has Roman and Wittick. You have Glory and
Ox and an elemental.
And an elemental, technically.
I'm going to be running an elemental. I've already thoroughly warned Ass that that's the first thing, because that's the only thing I have on Pox isn't on cooldown, basically. So, I'm bringing an elemental into this fight.
Yeah. Cora's here with a health
we need
check.
more people. We need more people in this fight. We need more turns.
Yeah. That initiative table is going to be something stupid. It's
going to be... the elemental, I'm assuming, is just going on Pox's turn, but like, holy
that initiative table needs to be screenshotted and put on Twitter.
It's going to be like 40 characters long.
You have not had a chance to fully recharge Varus, told you. But yeah, Stacey's obviously got Ashk and Loyalty. Ollie is having Legacy and Serena. I've got birds, and so I'm giving oops, all birds. I'm giving one of my birds to Nemo, because Nemo is the only person who didn't have a second. And Kay has two forms of Varus and Runara.
I wasn't ready to just hear it. Kay's gonna be... Normally me and Kay ban during a fight. It's not gonna happen, because Kay is gonna be like, which Varus did I cast this on?
Kay even just gonna sit there and just gonna be like, I diagnosed you with double Varus, and he's just gonna be like, ah, shit, there's no cure for that.
To be fair, this is the ultimate karma for Varus. Like, for Kay, for creating Varus. Like, for all the shit that Varus has put us through, congratulations, you now have to deal with 2 of them. In one combat.
Oh, I do commissions, actually. I just spotted that in the chat. I do. I'm open to...
on your behalf.
Yeah, I'm open to doing commissions. I recently finished one. Let me open it to show you. I recently did one.
To name them Thing 1 and Thing 2. I'm sure Kay is gonna have like 25 pieces of paper, like 5 million things open on his screen, and you're gonna just see him like this the whole time because he's gonna have it fully in his head. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
You know, I recently finished this. This is a commission I just did.
Man, you finished that? Holy shit.
Yeah, look at
Turn
it.
around. Yeah.
You finished it. Look how cute they are, little sweet pies.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a 2-character one, so.
Yeah, it's a bit different. The best way to message you on Twitter?
Yeah. Hit me up on Twitter because this is still a very new thing for me, so I have yet to get like an official system in place. So my Twitter is down there. Yeah, at me on Twitter. Thank you, Des. And we shall talk. Potentially not immediately after the stream because we have a tendency of streaming until about midnight. So when the stream ends, I will go straight to sleep. So we can talk about it tomorrow.
Yes, I saw that, Des.
Yes, it is Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. It's because it's a good Street Fighter joke. It's a good Street Fighter movie meme.
Oh shit, it's doing numbers.
I'm just thinking about that fucking Gloria and Kika thing I wrote again now. Why did you remind me? Oh, it makes me cry.
It's gearing us up for the emotional trauma that we have to be in tomorrow because we have to simultaneously play characters that do and don't care.
That's true. We won't have time to RP. It'll be a full. It will be like we have to start early and it will be combat the entire time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a heck of a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the rare occurrences where combat does have to be split over
more than one session.
More than one session. Like I don't want to. I don't
want
to.
We have that one hell of a cliffhanger. Cause it'll be like a month and a half until we can play again.
I know, but it may just have to be the case because there is going to be so much happening in every round that like we may only we may only get through like 3 rounds in the entire evening.
Yeah,
an entire round may take us an hour to do.
Well, for sure, I wouldn't be surprised at all. A round could take us an hour to do with a normal amount of characters. See, here we go. And Thursday happens. And Thursday happens, in which I have achieved the impossible, which is create a series of events, which means that you guys decided to go back to the Feywild willingly.
How does this keep happening?
You guys came out of the Feywild and were like, we're never doing that again, and here we are. You guys live through dream sequences, obviously. People who are not in Oakheart, achievement unlocked for me. I nearly made a player cry last week. In a wholesome way and not in a sad way. Achievement unlocked. I think I have achieved that before. I have. Yeah, last week was a sweetness break for sure. It started with a dog tackling the leader of the rebellion. Jester. sweet Jester. It's that Doge.
I'm gonna pet that dog. Look at that dog. That
Pet
dog.
that
woo!
dog.
Look at that dog. Woo! That dog. Woo!
DM's feed on the tears of their players empowers them to cry about their players not going where they're supposed to. That's too real. Too real.
That's beautiful, cool.
I will never forget the series of things that is, I cast Identify on Jester. Find out that Jester is a divine construct. Just... Look on all of your faces was very good. It's just like, ah!
I'm sorry, what?
What did you just say? Say dog's magic.
Dog's magic.
Dog's magic. One of the cutest things I've ever come up with. It's it's a magic dog, but only when Delia's out of a certain range. When they're separated, it becomes a magic dog. It's very cute. Right. Let's see if I can concentrate, shall we? Welcome to I can't remember a fucking word again.
Describe?
I'd rather not.
Okay. Oh, it's one of those ones, is it?
It's not like a good word. Not a good word. I'm specifically looking for it because it's such an unpleasant word. God. I just googled something. You know, you can tell what video game brain you're in by what you put. So you either, you know, when you Google something and you accidentally put like 5e.
Yes.
I can tell what video game mood I'm in because I didn't put 5e. I didn't put FF14. I put DAI.
Oh no.
I've
Oh
been talking to a lot
dear.
of people about Dragon Age this week, guys. Dragon Age. Got into an extended hour-and-a-half long debate with someone about Dragon Age Origins this week. Good. A very good debate. It was very interesting. He's been reading Dragon Age comics, which is great because it's someone else on Earth I can talk to about Dragon Age comics. Look at this, like, Powerpuff Girl team up you're doing right here.
Yeah.
As this playlist has no Florence the Machine in it, that's unacceptable. My playlist, why does it... Hello? Playlist for this character is coming on very well, I should say.
Try swapping these around. Composition? Never heard of it.
Haven't? Sure.
Excuse me.
Didn't think that was a noise that you had made then.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Cannot concentrate on anything because my roommate is so loud. Quiet.
It's starting to go into the quiet side of the stream.
It's because you're concentrating. I'm not. Not for lack of trying. But it's quiet. They're all doing their own things. I am here. I am physically present. Thanks, Cole.
See?
Trying, bud.
Such concentration.
I'm trying. It's hard. I ain't criticizing your chat. You're living your lives. Playing new video games. I get it. Not a judgment. Bring Rasputin into the chat. It will never end.
Rasputin.
a segue I didn't expect. Talking of Rasputin, I watched the new Kingsman movie. It was great. Rasputin's in the new Kingsman movie.
I mean, Elton John was in the last one, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I know that, yeah. Like a great deal about the new Kingsman movie.
This boy's gonna be so good at hugging.
What? What are you muttering to yourself?
He's gonna be so good at hugging because he's got
What are you talking about?
He's got big buff bird arms for hugging.
I'm talking about Tian.
This is Kayak, but yes,
This is Kayak.
also Tian.
You have a lot of birds, and the stream is not up to date, so I can't see what you're doing.
More birds!
Yes. Kayak is good for hugs.
They're both good for hugs.
And a test, I believe Kayak has hugged Pox.
Yes. They're both good at hugs. Kayak learned from his dad.
Yeah. If I even think about this that we're going into from Pox's perspective, I just like feel nauseous. I'm just like, I'm gonna vomit. Pox does not get on with the old guard. So we'll see. Too busy doing combat to Poppy, too busy doing combat to Poppy. And I know how that would go. I'm just gonna go invisible. Disappear.
Oh, you fool! You foolish child! You simpleton! Kirok is there!
Oh fuck. It's the invisibility, it was the whole thing!
It's her key spell!
It was like the whole thing.
This was like her entire spell that basically carried half the narrative.
Yeah, we depended on that, the old party. Don't look at me!
Actually, that's reminded me of something I was going to Google.
Oh, is it something to do with True Sight?
Is Kirok at the level that she can learn True Sight now as a spell instead of seeing
100%.
invisibility?
100% she is.
Which is
These
like,
nice level spells? Yeah, she can learn True Sight.
yeah, which is you know worse because not only can she see invisibility, but she can see you.
See Pox, yeah. The continual goof of Pox being so paranoid about even being slightly perceived by Old Guard and almost like a not insubstantial amount of them all having True Sight is very funny. It's like, yeah, we knew. What? Like, is it a problem?
Is on the sorcerer spell list.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I think I am going to give her True Seeing. Because that is, you know, the whole reason that...
It's better to see invisibility.
Yeah, it's better seeing invisibility, but the whole reason that Kika has, like, a detect magic on tap is that I consider it to be a watered-down see invisibility.
It is kinda, yeah.
It's like, I can see magic.
You want us to turn around so you can pretend to be invisible? Take solace in knowing that Glory probably won't see. Glory's wisdom is not... Well, it's okay. Is it better than Pox's stealth? Lynn.
Yeah. Also, I said this to Spook, when it comes to sorcerers and 9th level spells, it is very much a case of like, ah yes, sorcerer, the damaging magic class, because almost all of the 9th level spells you get are damaging ones. And time stop. And Time Stop is
And Time Stop.
is not as good as you think it is.
But it's not.
Time Stop is actually a kind of bad 9th level spell. Don't take it.
I'm looking at Reality Break. If you've not looked at Reality Break, I don't think it's a 9th, I think it's an 8th. If you've not looked at Reality Break.
It's not on the sorcerer list, which is probably why I've not looked at it.
It's also a Dunamancy spell.
That's why. Probably not on the list that I'm looking at.
Sorcerer spell list? Let me look.
I mean, if it's Dunamancy, then it also probably isn't a sorcerer spell because it's a Dunamancy spell, which is not the same.
It might be on the wizard spell. It might be on the sorcerer spell list. Dunamancy's a school. It's not a type.
Yeah, school, which is for wizardry.
That's not a thing. So you can't. There's no like school of Dunamancy. Just a type of spell.
Well, Dunamancy has the two
It's
skills.
only on the wizard spell
Yeah,
list.
I figured. Like, I use the Wikidot, which is pretty good at like getting expansion spells and stuff on it.
Pretty sure there is Dunamancy spread out a little bit, but like this one is just a wizard spell.
Yeah.
It is disgusting though.
Yeah, so what you need to do is tell Kay.
Okay. I know you can hear me. Through the power of the cluster. This is generally when you show up. It's a joke.
What I do find tempting, though, is that obviously one of the other clutch spells that Kirok always had was teleport. And now she can have Gate.
Yeah, boy.
Which is tempting. As a
This is
knight.
already used to Gate. Okay. So we could have someone else with Gate. I mean, let's be real. We have 3 spellcasters with 9th level spells.
It would be very...
Pixie also does, but she's used it.
I'm just saying,
So, like-
I would find it endlessly funny to go through all this stress and all this prep for first turn, quicken spell, I cast Gate and take us all away from here. I just
That
immediately,
is very funny.
immediately sidestep the entire problem.
Fail.
Bye!
I mean, that's kind of what we, like, coming at this from not a fight, coming from this from, like, the story, that's what we should do. We should bail.
We've done it before. Kirok did it a few times where she just went bonus action teleport, bye. Instead of just go bonus action Gate everybody back to the material plane. It's so tempting.
The only thing we have to fear is counterspell.
This is true. That's fine, because the moment Kirok's like, I cast Gate, and Dat is like, counterspell, I'll immediately have
There's
5.
4 people going, counterspell, 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 counterspell.
Counterspell. Just a rapid fire counterspell.
No, Kay would be like, I cast 9th level counterspell.
We counter the counter. He doesn't need to, we've got freaking 18th level Warlock who casts spells at their highest level.
Roman frightens me.
Roman frightens a lot of people.
It's his job. This is pure just credit to Naren. Just the whole concept of Widdick and Roman makes me so happy. Just thinking about it for more than 20 seconds makes me so happy. Especially because now we've like hung out with Widdick for a long time. It's like Widdick's just the coolest fucking dude, and he just vibes with this absolute crackhead.
With a crackhead Warlock.
Just 24/7. And that's why he's such a chill dude. Like, he's great. Oh my god, Widdick gets to tell Roman that he's a knight now.
He does!
Love his boy. Assuming most of our RP with ourselves will happen off screen, but like, if we live.
Widdick's just coming into the demi playing going, you are my dad! You're my dad!
You're my dad! Absolute mess of Roman to Widdick is so funny that they're both played by the same person. Like, at opposite ends of a spectrum for sure.
They are opposite ends of the spectrum, and that spectrum is Neruin.
Yeah, truly the two sides of Neruin.
On a scale of Roman to Widdick, where do you fall?
Where is Neruin at today? Coming into Panda
He's
Race.
somewhere in the middle, which is approximately where Buckley falls.
The thing with these two, Roman and Widdick are the two wolves fighting in my head. There are two wolves of side view. One of them is Widdick and one of them is Roman. I totally understand that. I can see that. But the funny thing is, like, it's one thing to do that. It's another thing that there are two wolves, but they hang out all the time. And one of them's a parent, but it's not the one you think it is. Oh. So good. I feel like Glory and Pox are two ends of a spectrum, but the spectrum is like parental urge. You're either at full Glory or you're at full Pox. This is a song to stumble into. To playlist. D&D, PCs, NPC. Now that I'm like thinking about people's characters being next to each other, it's just getting more funny. Like thinking about Ashk and Lo in the same place is very funny. They're also two ends of a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's we talked about this when we made the characters. Like it's a natural urge to be like, I want to play a character that's not necessarily like my last character. Like it doesn't have to be like miles apart, but you make intentional choices to make them different in some way. But like Kirok and Kika, who are obviously mirrors of each other in a lot of ways, there are notable differences between them.
Yes.
That are there intentionally, but not just playing the same character again.
Mm-hmm.
But then you put them next to each other again, and it's like, ah. You've got that up to the nth degree, because you've got 4 characters in this ring.
The congruent theme is that they're a family and they all love each other very much.
And they're mostly all birds.
Oops, all
But
birds.
they're all birds most of the time.
You'd be surprised how many that applies to.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's a very technical definition.
One time Kirok turned briefly into a sheep. A lot of people forget that.
I remember that.
It's
I
very
remember
brief.
that entry on the Wild Magic table.
It was very brief. And I think also there was like an in-between, I believe in the in-between thing that we had between Lost Mines and SKT. I can't remember if I actually told you guys this. I know that you like went away and like the obviously the giant stuff happened with you.
Things happened to me.
What happened with Kirok is Kirok had I believe 6 or 7 surges that canonically happened when she was out alone, and I think one of them she turned into a rabbit, got stuck in a hunter's trap for rabbits, and then changed back into herself. because of course
She also once turned into a potted plant, according to that.
Yes, that is also something
I seem
that
to recall
happened.
that.
Yes, the potty plant was also something that happened. Yeah.
Meanwhile, my character's going through major trauma. Not that I'm saying that isn't traumatic, but just different kinds. Things that only happen to a wild magic sorcerer.
My body is going through changes that I did not give it permission to do.
I remember what were the rules for Kirok's wild magic surges? If we felt like
we'd slightly tweaked the base rules because the base rules was literally just like, whenever the hell you feel like it, which was like, could be never. So
the only one I remember, the only system I remember is the one I know it's from Enslaving City. It's not the one that we use for you.
So the way that we did it is that one of Wild Magic's abilities is they can give themselves advantage on spell attack rolls, and Dasril did that. Like, if I use it once, it's fine, but if I try to use it again, it will trigger a surge.
I love watching wild magic sorcerers on other programs and seeing how they handle wild magic surges. Yeah,
obviously there's the very typical caveat of like, and also they can happen when you're under a lot of stress.
Duress, yeah. Essentially.
Yes, but Kirok is level 18 now and has the controlled chaos.
Yeah.
So she's got a modicum of control.
Proud of
over
my baby.
She has grown as a character.
Yeah.
So long since I've drawn my own character that I've forgotten how she looks. It's been a long time since I've drawn Kirok.
It's a love letter to us until one of us dies. What happens? Look, if you catch me being really pessimistic in the next 24 hours about this, about being like, maybe one of us will die, it's because I'm coming into this with a character that's on half HP already. Money's on gay. Okay. You did not mean to do that. It's very funny. Yeah, Pogs is on low, kind of medium HP already, because she's done a lot of damage to herself today. I activated
the Blood Hunter vibe.
Yeah, I've activated my Crimson Rite a couple times. I've healed with my Blood Maledict. Like I rolled like max damage like twice. So I'm hurting a bit. You had a Widdick dropped on you? Oh yeah, that was today.
Yeah, that also happened today.
Found out that Pox was a changeling this morning. that feels like weeks ago.
Yeah, we also found out that Kika is an Archon this afternoon, and about an hour ago we found out that King is also one.
Today's been a fucking day. It's been the longest day of our lives.
It's just one of those D&D days, isn't it? Where, we had them in
Three characters had their lives fundamentally changed today.
We had a few of them in Blood and Sand as well, where we were like, we've literally been trying to do this day for 4 months.
Yep. I'm a little beat up. I have to check how long. I think Crimson Rite. Does Crimson Rite last until long or short rest? Check that tomorrow.
I can't remember.
I might still have it up, is what I'm saying. We'll double check.
Look, our intent in coming to this area was to have a long rest.
Yeah, we literally came here so we could sneak a long rest in a not a long rest.
The intent was to go to plot after here.
We were deliberately delaying doing plot. Why we all burned our fucking spell slots on that king thing. So we were like, we're literally gonna rest immediately after this. We didn't.
And then we didn't.
I've got no luck left on Pox. I spent my last luck on something really dumb. Because I was like, literally gonna sleep. The classic can't avoid what you don't know you're trying to miss from Fantasy High. Brennan, you make your life a living hell.
Bring it.
You can't avoid, you don't know what you're trying to miss. Like, we thought we were trying to miss plot. We walked straight into it. This is the second thing I've written, third thing that I've written where I had to talk about Lynette, and I'm still spelling her name wrong.
I'd love to do Tomorrow and Back of Beyond. Look, it's pointless talking about that here. Spook's gone to bed. Oh yeah, and this is when I remember that I chose a bird for Kirok, which literally has like the largest talons of like the entire bird kingdom, even though she's a
yes.
even though she's a fucking spellcaster and doesn't really use them.
I thought about you today because I did the OC thing on Twitter. I need to do the rest of that actually. But it was like, what animal do you associate with them? And I was thinking about it because I was trying to find a picture of a black swan for Pox, and I was like, this would be very easy for Blue. All of her characters have associated animals bias just by default.
Yeah, pretty much. They're also very obvious. Like, I wonder what Tala's animal is. Told you before, it's a shrike.
Yeah. Is it a wolf? Yes.
Is it a wolf?
It is. Yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah. With Pox, I've been saying for ages to Das, but like, Posey is a white swan. Like, all of Pox's personas are white swans, and she's a black swan. Just because I think they're cooler. I just like when you see like a big here we go. This is Google of the day. What is the name for a group of swans?
It's not a gander because that's goose.
Yeah. It's a gaggle, but it's not. Is a wedge? That's to do with flight, though. Bevy, a herd, a game, or a flight. A bank when they're on the ground. Herd, bevy, or flock is the most popular. I guess flock makes the most sense. A group of swans is usually a problem. You get it. But like, I like when you see like a flock of swans and there's like one black swan and the rest of them are white. I think that's the picture I eventually found, but like, that's my favorite shit, so that's Pox. So as I said on Twitter, it's because she's built out of fairy tales, so Ugly Duckling's in there. This is just a bunch of fairy tales, but in a big soup pot. There's a little bit of folklore seasoning on there. Mostly because when I decided I was going to play Changeling, I just looked up as much as I could about like every culture's like Changeling proofing. There's so many different ones. So many different types of like warding against changelings specifically. It's fascinating. I encourage everyone to read into it. I read a bunch of that stuff before I started playing Pox. Yeah, yes, Das. That is a thing Posey is not going to process. I should say Pox is not going to process. Remember, it's tricky saying anything to Pox because Pox isn't in Pox form. It doesn't feel like you're talking to them. Like, their personas are very segmented out. So, like, I said that to Posey. So, like, Pox doesn't think King is talking about Pox. I know that. Pox doesn't. Like, he knows. Pox assumes that everyone thinks Posey is hot. And she's correct. Prosper, but obviously can't play Prosper as much as I would like because limited by law. And they can't play him right now. Holy shit, that would be that'd be a quick way to die. As I think I've said to you, Das, the only one who's really had a conversation with Pox, I think, is Kika. He was still in Posy Glam at the time, but that was very much a conversation with Pox, really.
I mean, that was kind of the vibe that was happening in the. It was the unspoken thing in the conversation of like, I'm talking to you, but the actual you.
You can
both
tell
of them, in a weird way.
my voice as well. Like, I was not doing any of the posiness with the voice. You know, it was very much a thing of like, yeah, that was a you know,
Ooh.
actual conversation.
Hey, hi, Corncob. Nice to see you. Welcome to my nonsense stream. This is my friend Curls. We talk a lot about D&D.
We're currently talking about D&D, and we will be later.
We are currently talking about D&D. And my many birds.
And your flock.
Do you like my birds? I have many of them. One of them might be a dragon.
One of them is like a little bit of dragon.
Dragons can be a type of bird.
I would agree. Gestures at Fenna.
Me, Curls, making dragons that are also birds.
Whoops.
Whoops. D&D birds.
In my defense, Fenna's not actually a bird. I want Chaos and Fenna to be buddies. I do not.
I do.
Can you imagine the chaos that would be?
Yes. Kayak is a bard, and also a dragon.
Fenna's part bard.
They could start a troop.
Yeah. What type of dragon is Kayak?
Brass.
Oh, not the same.
No, they're not the same.
Again, I don't have dragon types in my world, but I based Fenna on a copper dragon.
Copper, yes. And Ember.
Yeah. I keep throwing the descriptor in just for you. Again, I don't use the actual typing, but throw it in there just for you. The problem causes Mischief Squad, yeah, for sure. Fenna cannot happen because Fenna would lead Kaok. Kaok's too good to be around Fenna a lot. Many good things can be said about Fenna, but being a good influence is certainly not one of them.
Kaok had good parents.
So did Fenna. Yeah. What is that, Kaok? How old is Kaok? He's like a baby, right? Because Kaok's like dragon that's a mortal age.
Kaok is... I can't remember exactly, but he is sans 20-ish because they were gifted his egg at the end of
I was gonna say,
yeah. So
it's like in the mortal lifespan.
Yeah, he's young by dragon standards, but in terms of Aarakocra, he's already like fully grown and
yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, Fenna. Fenna's young for dragons in my setting. But My god, Fenna is a lot older than Kirk. Fenna would have a great many things to teach him. None of them would be good, and none of them he should know. Really quickly, BRB.
Sure.
Feel free to continue picturing our dragon birds as friends.
I feel like we both need t-shirts that say "Ask me about my dragon bird."
That's terrible. Oh,
It's very us, though.
it would be so describably on brand that it's almost disgusting. One of the other dragons in our settings are Galgron and Cloud, and they're probably not as old as Fenna. Cloud might be older than Fenna. There are definitely dragons in my setting that are older than probably any of the dragons in it.
Your camera froze in a wonderful pose there.
Oh, good. I love that for me. Yeah. Yeah, I probably... Yeah, Fenna's young for dragons in my setting, but all dragons in my setting are immortal, so...
It's relative.
It's super relative. Get into any of her parents, they are probably older than all of your dragons. We will see. But anyway, I'm gonna be back real quick.
It's just you and me, chat. Ask me about my birds. Man, it's been a long time since I've been in the Tian Kirok headspace. Because it's all been Kika. A rum fountain in the Dawn War of Delanine is several thousand years old. What I can absolutely say is he's so cheating. Actually, I'm mistaken, that's 1,500, so he's still ancient. I can't remember off the top of my head in my world lore how old my ancient dragons are, but they're really old. They're probably like... on the verge of 2,000, I think? They old as balls. They were kind of instrumental in the creation of the world as it currently is in my world lore, because my world lore literally revolves around dragons. Now I get to do Tien's arms as well. Garand is from his setting's First Brood. Both my favourite and Dylan and I have Tiamat and Bahamut as partners, and the First Brood is the oldest dragons of their type. I feel like there is something about that in Faerun lore, yeah. Garand's the oldest living gold, but he was weak in his youth compared to Creodor and was definitely cannibalized several siblings. Ugh. That guy was a jackass! Blue once again cannot work out hands. The artists follow. Thanks, Gore. Yeah. Cloutho will, of course, not speak about as much, but he broke the ancient titanic golem construct, the fire giants, that was many, many years ago in Faerun lore. Hey, you stole that lore from me! You stole that lore from me!
I've returned.
Hello! Hello, pre-return.
Hello. Still talking about dragons.
Dragons and birds.
Combat chat.
Enjoying my birds, I'm also remembering all of the equipment that they've got.
Yeah. That was a whole thing. Were you there for that? Glory's character sheet.
Some of it, yeah. Yeah, I was there for some of it.
The last time I played Glory.
I'm realizing it now with the birds. But go on.
Yeah, the last time I played Glory, I had a bunch of Ash gear, and I at no point thought I would play Glory again, so I didn't write down what was Ash gear and what was Glory's gear. So I had to kind of pass out. I just had like so much super powerful shit on Glory's equipment that I was just like, some of this can't be hers. It was very funny. Beefed up.
When I was sketching Kirok Just, I was like, oh yeah, she's got braces of defense and the glass staff and a cloak of stars, which I haven't put in this picture because I'm not really sure how. And then now I've come over to Tien, and I'm like, he's got like a fucking lightning bolt spear and literally like homebrewed armor called the Armor of the Sky Dancer.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my god, they have so much stuff.
Glory's was compared to like any of the characters I played since was very simple. It was like armor, 2 weapons, done. So you passed out all of Ash's gear. Ash's gear's up. Kudos to Frog for managing Ash's gear. Like, yeah, Glory stuff is very simple. I got a giant slaying sword, got a dragon killing sword, and a plate. That's my life. I've turned off all the extra damage, like the dragon damage and the giant damage. Just simplify chat. Disabled it. I haven't deleted it. I've just disabled it.
Yeah.
Changed the crit threshold on Glory, but if anyone goes into the Black Princess Roll20, you'll see like a wall of me because I was just trying to roll an 18, 19, or 20 to see if my crit threshold worked, but I could not roll an 18, 19, or 20.
I'm pretty sure you can just do that by removing the D. So if you type slash roll,
well, no, because
if you slash
I was
roll
associated
18
with the weapons,
right?
I had to click the weapon attack to do it.
Right. Okay. Never mind then.
Good idea though.
I'm pretty sure that's the thing in Roll20 of like if you accidentally forget the D, it just spits out the number of like slash roll 18. 18.
We'll see. That's an interesting metric. If you take any dragon in any other lore and put it in a Mazius lore, they become a god, basically. That's kind of the point. There are reasons why dragons aren't just in charge of everything in Evasius, and that is social, not not power.
Man, tonight has flown by.
I was literally just looking at the time and I was like, that can't be right.
That cannot be right. I just looked as well.
It is.
How is it 11?
Happens so fast.
What happened to the
Should we hit the brakes on this now that we've noticed the time? Because
like-
neither of us are feeling the time eminently.
Yeah. I was sitting here I was literally thinking, like, I could probably easily go for another hour, but I probably shouldn't. But, like, what? How is it 11?
Where did that time go? Me and Blue have no time comprehension.
I have awful time comprehension at the best of times. So I'm always late for everything. Literally look at the clock and go, oh, that's fine, I've got half an hour. I blink, and I got 2 minutes, and I'm like,
It's gone, yeah.
what? I literally did nothing. Where did that half hour go?
I feel that in my soul. Full health check.
Full health check.
How much longer do you want to go, Blue? Because it's past 11.
As I said, I could probably easily go for another hour, but I shouldn't. Especially since, let's be honest, whenever we finish, we always end up chatting for like a freaking hour.
Yeah.
So if we stop now, we'll end up hanging out for a while, and then we might finish at an actual decent time.
Right, we're going to shut the stream off.
Yeah, we're gonna shut the stream off.
Night, everybody.
Yeah,
Have a good time.
It was 3 hours that flew.
Oh, for sure.
Wild.
We'll see you tomorrow for the madness.
Yeah. Oh my days. D&D tomorrow is going to be crazy. It's going to be
right,
nuts.
yeah.
Yeah.
See you then.
See you tomorrow, guys. That's all I can say. Is see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
It's gonna be nuts. Love you loads. Take care.